another episode of Hard Factor. It is Wednesday, March 6th. Our top stories for the day. I'm going to do one about the FDA having a very big day. Mark's going to take a story about a KKK-themed school play.
Oh, KKK!
Pat's going to do one about an Amazon driver who was shot over a parking spot.
You're going to think twice about thinking twice about the handicap spot from now on, guys.
Yeah, sounds like it. And Wes will take us through a lightning round of other headlines. All right, let's talk about the FDA. FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb, a 46-year-old pharma bro, physician, and cancer survivor, announced on Tuesday that he'll be resigning from his FDA job so that he can spend more time with his family.
How old?
46.
Yeah, it's a lie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Scandal coming.
When did the spend more time with the family become unbelievable? Because I don't believe it anymore. That excuse.
Yeah, it sounds like just therapy with the wife.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, it's very generic.
It happened when
it's
too
very
many
generic.
politicians used it as an excuse.
So there's gonna be a food product that we're all gonna eat in the next week. Then we're all gonna get sick from.
Yeah, and he'll be spending time with his family.
Yeah.
Maybe. But this genius was also commuting from Connecticut to D.C. to work this job. So I'm actually a little surprised it didn't happen sooner. I mean, he's been there for quite a while.
That's how you can tell he's a snob. He
That's
wouldn't
multiple
move out of
states.
Connecticut.
That's like so many states he's crossing. That's
Yeah.
That's not one state. That's multiple states.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the whole eastern seaboard,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. He also claims that he was working the entire weekend from home between weeks in D.C. So he'd work the whole week in D.C., fly home, and then
Okay.
work all weekend.
It sounds like his wife told him either it's the job or me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and he's got two daughters, 9 and 5. But by all accounts, he was, or not all accounts, by most accounts, he was actually pretty good at his job. Many in the government were surprised by the news. President Trump tweeted, "Scott has helped us to lower drug prices, get a record number of generic drugs approved and onto the market, and so many other things." It sounds like he just forgot what to say there, ran out of things. He and his talents will be greatly missed. So Trump, apparently he was a good commissioner, unlike Pruitt, who got let go earlier.
That's impressive. You know the other guy's name. That's great.
Yeah, the EPA guy. Well, we covered him on this show. So
Cover a lot of stuff on this show.
Gottlieb will be remembered for his work on opioid addiction and mostly for his crusade against teen vaping. You might remember he basically tried to kill the Juul.
Yeah.
Can't kill the jewel, baby.
That wasn't
It's
going to
just
happen.
as
Definitely
bad
can't.
as cigarettes.
Everyone under like 25 smokes jewels. It's a fucking insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
every
you-
post
yeah.
I see on social media is just about jewels.
You might as well try to ban masturbation.
Exactly. Yeah, the Juul's sticking around.
Yeah.
Even though he's leaving in a month, the White House is still probably going to follow through with his plans to try and restrict flavored e-cig sales. So Juul, they'll get fucked with, but it's definitely not. You can't kill it. No. And Gottlieb will also be remembered for one other thing. The FDA approval of the new Ketamine, or Special K, if you know it by the street name, nasal spray for prescription.
Horse tranquilizer.
What? No, different.
Yeah.
He wants to kill the jewel, but bring us Special K and nasal spray.
You talk about
Correct.
That's good.
For those of you guys who are a little bit younger, when we even missed Special K, the rave era, Special K was huge.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah,
parachute pants.
you pair it with ecstasy. That's the typical use for Special K if you're doing it, to party.
K-holes.
K-holes. Yeah, we'll get to that. Johnson & Johnson, they got FDA approval on Tuesday for a new nasal spray designed at treating depression called Spravato. And it turns out Spravato is essentially Special K in the same way that Adderall is essentially meth.
That's awesome.
It's like what I've been looking for my whole life. I've been treating depression with drugs for the last
Can you get
20
us,
years.
Can you get us some of this
I can
stuff?
get you guys anything. You know that.
Yeah,
Doctors
Pat-
will prescribe
Pat,
me
yeah.
anything.
You're going to need to get us some Spravato.
I'll get some Spravato, bro.
Johnson & Johnson's killing it. So you go ahead and you have a baby, and then you get depressed because you have a baby, and you buy baby powder stuff and put the baby powder on the baby's ass, and then you cure your depression from having the baby with some Johnson & Johnson Special K nasal spray.
It's perfect.
It's like the whole day.
Are you talking about postpartum depression?
Well, yeah, for women and also for men because they didn't want to have the kid.
They got
know?
you covered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all of them.
Get the K-hole, baby.
Johnson & Johnson. Whoops. Has all your little whoopses covered.
Citing the potential for abuse, the FDA said Spravato will only be available through a restricted distribution system. And I think that means that you have to go get your first
friend
month of
Pat
treatment
goes
in a
and
building.
Your friend
No,
Pat.
no. Pat has to go to a building to take it because you can't operate heavy machinery because it's an hallucinogen.
Well, you know that my forklift operator license has lapsed, but I also have a large enough nose where I could probably store some of it in the facility.
Yeah, I'll
and
drive
bring it
you
out
there.
for you guys.
You have to have scars on your arm to get the treatment.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah. But it is good news for people with depression or for people who are looking for new, treatments for depression because this is the first new class of drug approved by the FDA to treat depression in 30 years. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, last 30 years it was sun.
Or a bottle of wine and two.
Stop drinking.
Two bowl packs.
SSRIs, is that what it's called, Pat? Is SSRIs the main thing
Yes,
these days?
serotonin
Yeah.
reuptake inhibitors.
Yeah, so this is a new type of drug. Hopefully it helps people. Taking it to the internet, Stephanie Quarterone, she says,
Nailed it.
legal K-holes, just what we need. So
Yeah.
getting back to that whole K-hole thing, a K-hole, for those that don't know, is when you take too much ketamine and you lose all control of your mind and body and basically become a moron on a couch.
Yeah, your friends leave you at the club.
Right.
Yeah.
You seen Brian?
No,
Yeah.
it's too dark.
So that's what this nasal spray
Should we
do
go
to you.
back for?
Yeah, I don't know if K-holes are good for depressed people, but I guess
We're
find
gonna
out.
find out.
Yeah, okay, good.
We definitely will.
So everyone loves a good school play, right? Like a high school play,
Not really. but
right?
Sure.
Right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they're really long, poorly acted, and contain no foul language or nudity unless they're being performed at the Neverland Ranch.
Oh God. That's part of where the depression comes of being a parent is you're gonna have to sit through school plays.
Yeah, for sure. That you're gonna
Sat
need some
through a few.
nasal spray. All you can hear is, and like. Anyways, fuck you,
Good
Michael
Neverland
Jackson.
joke though.
Well, obviously I kid because unless you bring several flasks or this nasal spray to a viewing of a school play, high school play, which I did the one time I watched a high school play. I think there was a hot chick in the play that I was trying to bang, and it made the second act awesome. I think you were there, Will.
I was there. We filled Gatorade bottles with screwdrivers, and we were
Right.
just getting annihilated in the stands.
And like just interrupting the play. We got kicked out and almost suspended.
This must have been when I was not allowed on school property.
Potentially. We almost got suspended a lot that year. But anyways, as I stated earlier, for the most part, you can count on a tame version of a streetcar named Desire in a high school play, or maybe always a Midsummer's Night Dream again. I'm pretty sure those are the only two like school plays everywhere in the country, except for in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Well, what do they have there?
Well, hat tip to our Twitter follower at KingSam999 who sent us this story. It would be a hood tip if the recognition was being acknowledged by a member of this school play.
Why?
Because it happened Roosevelt High School because Roosevelt High School
But why, Mark?
forgot the last few decades happened and that the internet existed, Pat. And they put on a weekend performance of a play called The Foreigner, which features several scenes of students dressed up as Ku Klux Klan members. It's basically that's half the play. They're just all dressed up as KKK.
That's terrible.
what age are these actors? What age? Middle school?
I think it's a high school, so age like 15 to like 17.
That's
to
great
18,
for kids that have anxiety and want to be actors, though. It's a great role for them.
Yeah, you can't see anything but the eyes. Yeah, because
Right. It must also be great for like the two black kids at that Sioux Falls, South Dakota high school.
Yeah.
Also, racists are a fan of it. Officials said the district didn't follow the proper vetting guidelines for the production, following concerns raised by a local community organization.
So it's a lot worse that if you're one of the black kids and you are also the costume guy for the play.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Not good.
I think it was it was pointed out that it was not a black kid was like, I'm not comfortable with this. The district.
blame him.
Here's a quote from Deanne Conrad, who said the district has guidelines in place for vetting plays and other such works. The district's failed to follow those guidelines. AKA, we didn't look at the play whatsoever because it's a high school play. No one cares about it. Whoops. She released that in a statement from the district. She's their spokeswoman. We sincerely regret this and will continue to take action in our quest to be a culturally responsive school community. Yikes.
Sure.
Yikes. Yeah. I mean, KKK attire does work in comedies often, okay?
Yeah. Or period pieces.
Right, and that's pieces, and that's what this
or
play, The
instructional
Foreigner.
videos on how to not put on controversial high school plays.
Right, or in Papa John's phone calls. But apparently this play, The Foreigner, is a very successful comedy written by Larry Shue in 1983. It's won several awards. And the movies I'm referencing where it works in comedies are things like in Harold and Kumar, the funny scene, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and recently Black Klansman. but this isn't a blockbuster movie. This isn't Broadway. We're talking about a Sioux Falls auditorium, which is probably filled with 95 to 99% white teenagers.
It's generous.
Yeah. So not like the right setting to rock the robes.
Yeah.
Even if it is to shed light on how fucked up the KKK is, And
Hey, who did it better, this school or the First Lady of Virginia?
Ooh. That's a
First
good
Lady of
question.
Virginia still takes the cake on this one.
She's the ballsiest because of her husband.
Yeah, they were trying to do something progressive here and missed.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing, guys. In 2017, the production of The Foreigner, same play, was canceled at New Prague High School in Minnesota after Snapchat photos of actors in KKK garb was shared across a variety of platforms, the internet, saying this is ridiculous. And they obviously canceled the play because it spread around. You can't do a high school play where half the kids are in KKK.
You just can't. They're not ready for
Yeah.
it.
can't
It's
do it.
bad luck.
So let's take it to the internet on that note, where Ellery Kruger says, nope to all comments. She doesn't want to hear them. This is just wrong. I don't know.
Strong.
All right, Ellery.
I kind of
All
agree.
right.
I kind of agree with her. And Derek Zacharias says, I'm sorry, but a play about defeating Klansmen is a bad thing, ? See, yeah, it is, Derek. Should nobody put on Anne Frank because of Nazis? Fuck.
Oh.
Fuck. Then he follows it up with, the moral of the story is more important than some uncomfortable scenes. And then Derek just destroyed my entire story.
Yeah, Derek just totally beat Hard Factor Mark in an argument.
And now I'm all fucked up and my head's in a pretzel.
But in Anne Frank, you just
Thanks, Derek.
you just hear the footsteps of the
Jesus.
Nazis. Right?
What a waste of the last hour of my life. Thanks, Derek.
All right, so everyone loves Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah.
I mean, free, quick shipping, quick delivery, and if you have Prime now in your city, you can get anything you need within an hour. Like one
Game
year,
changer.
Yeah, it's insane. 1 year during Halloween, I thought I wasn't going out, but then my plan shifted rapidly, and then all of the stores were closed. But I was still able to get a hilarious Sailor Moon costume through Prime to my door within an hour, and I made it to the party.
Absolutely.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's this type of convenience that was unfortunately lost on a 65-year-old St. Charles, Missouri man who shot an Amazon delivery driver outside of a Target yesterday
Whoa.
after an altercation related to a parking
Was
spot.
he a big Target guy? He hates Amazon.
You'll find out, bro. Look, the 21-year-old Prime driver, who actually was employed by a third-party delivery service, but his van did say Prime on it, he had parked his van in a handicapped accessible parking spot while he was talking to another delivery driver in a different van. I guess they have like a similar thing to cops where they park next to each other.
Just chilling in the handicap spot.
Yeah.
No big deal.
They just,
How's your day going?
yeah, what kind of packages did you have?
Did you have rectangular packages?
Yeah,
Again?
Anything heavy?
Were they heavy? God.
A lot
All
of
right.
boxes?
Well, look, this 65-year-old man was none too happy about the van being parked in the handicap spot. And like his AARP manual instructed him, he took out his cell phone to document the illegal park job while asserting that this situation would have never happened back in his day, spewing old-timer insults at the driver.
And he's like, you goober, you fucking goober.
It's like Wes was there. Yeah, look, the two men, the driver and the old man, then got into a physical altercation, and the old man fell to the ground, at which point the driver began walking away.
Dude, the driver is an asshole. He attacked a 65-year-old man for calling him out for parking in a handicap spot.
Yeah, while he was still parked in the handicap spot, he beat up a
Yeah,
65
he beat up an old
Well, the
guy.
65-year-old man was filming him. Look, the old man noticed that the driver was escaping, and so again, acting in a manner consistent with his AARP manual, he pulled out a gun and he shot the driver in the back.
in the back.
Well,
Back. Wow.
Well, I mean, when you're that cocky, it doesn't surprise
You
me
really
that
pissed
this
him
guy
off.
got
You're
shot.
certainly not expecting to get shot in the back in that
No.
scenario. No.
No, but if you're that cocky, you're beating up old men
We
who are
don't
trying
know.
to call you out on parking in a handicap spot.
You're on drugs.
It's not surprising that person got shot.
It's possible the old man was the aggressor in the altercation.
I don't feel like anyone's a winner in this scenario. But
No, they're all losers.
the shot in the back's a little far.
The older gunman, he went into a nearby famous footwear store, presumably to buy some running shoes to help him get away.
Okay, he's not a loser anymore. He just went
I like
about
it.
his day after shooting this guy in the back.
Straps
He's
him in.
awesome.
Yeah, Strauss. He's like, do you have any fast shoes? But he was quickly apprehended at the store. According to St. Charles Police Lieutenant Tom Wilkinson, It was unclear if the older man even had a disability. He may have just been an activist for those with disabilities and out for vengeance. When asked about the incident, a spokesperson for Target said, although this is a tragedy, this is the kind of marksmanship we've come to expect from Target shoppers.
They didn't say that.
No, I made that part up, but everything else is true.
Basically, what I've learned from doing this show is that working for Amazon is the deadliest profession on the planet. Like,
It's
they have
dangerous.
factory machines just like killing people out of the blue. The drivers are getting killed. Who knows what else?
Mostly for the third-party workers, but yeah.
I think you're referring to the Bear Mace incident. There's not a lot of deaths. There's very few deaths.
Plenty of deaths.
Here's the good news, guys. The driver's injuries are non-life-threatening. And let's take it to the internet real quick. So 63-year-old Wayne Varner, who in addition to being a Hard Factor internet pundit, is also the owner/president at I Don't Work, according to his Facebook profile. And Wayne says, ... driver should have said he was sorry and moved the vehicle.
Ooh.
Yep, correct.
How do you feel
Yeah.
about that? Yeah, it's true.
I agree with
Yeah, I
Wayne.
mean, Wayne nailed it.
I think Wayne would have been a second shooter if he was on the scene.
Yeah,
You
probably.
couldn't be more right, though. Okay, a young guy gets called out for parking in a handicap spot by an old guy. What do? Drop the old guy or just move the fucking car?
Right. You dropped the old guy. Moving on.
You dropped the old guy.
He dropped the old guy.
Living on the edge of a lightning bolt. Oh, yeah!
All right, and some stories we didn't get to cover fully. Well, Canadian hospitality strikes again, guys, this time on an airplane stranded on a tarmac during a snowstorm. So after an Air Canada flight headed to Halifax, Nova Scotia was diverted to Fredericton, New Brunswick due to bad weather, passengers were forced to sit on the plane for 8 hours and started to become a little hungry. That's when the pilot of the plane remembered, hey, people love pizza. Maybe I should order some. So that's exactly what he did, ordering 23 cheese and pepperoni pizzas from Mingler's Restaurant and
Oh.
Pub. Shout out Mingler's.
Delicious.
Well, that's nice there. Well, you should call on down to Mingler's, get some pies.
Yeah.
Hey, what airline was that again?
Air Canada.
Nice.
So
The one that
pizzas-
was flying from Nova Scotia to Saskatchewan.
The pizzas were delivered, and the passengers who were stranded on the flight were happy. Not sure if any gluten-free passengers actually got to eat.
Really sorry about the situation. How about we call up Mingler's and we look at pictures of my little girls here?
We're going to get you some pies, and then you can kind of switch through my vacation photos from last year when we went to the West Coast.
Here's my sweetheart. Been married for 40 years.
Do you want a pepperoni or a cheese slice
Let me
there?
see your kids now.
A man traveling from
I would
Allen-
really love to see your kids.
All right.
All right.
No,
we're good.
Let it die. Let it die. A man traveling from Allentown, Pennsylvania to his home in St. Augustine, Florida, go figure, had his trip diverted yesterday when he decided it would be a good idea to bring on a grenade launcher in his checked luggage.
Grenade launcher?
Grenade launcher.
Rocket
Yeah.
launcher.
It was a grenade launcher.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote it rocket launcher, but it's grenade launcher.
Okay.
But don't worry.
Jesus.
I'm improvising here. But don't worry. Yeah, he had no plans to blow up the plane with his grenade launcher. It was non-functioning.
It was
And-
just for show.
Yeah, the grenade was actually just a replica. So when
Wait,
he
was this guy Canadian
I
too?
don't know, man.
no, he was from Florida.
Yeah.
It was just for show.
When he was stopped by police and TSA agents, the man had no idea why this wasn't allowed. So they confiscated the grenade launcher and sent his ass back to Florida. The TSA wants every idiot out there to know that no real weapons or replica weapons are allowed on airplanes.
Was it made of styrofoam and
no,
spray
it
painted?
looked pretty real.
Yeah, so
No, it was real. It was a real one.
yeah.
Yeah, the grenade. I think the only thing was the grenade was a replica. So
You know he was stressed out going through security. Like, I really hope they don't go through my bag. I really hope they don't go through my bag.
No, I think it was outside the bag, right?
no, it was in checked luggage.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
He was trying to bring it on the plane.
Fuck. What an idiot.
Yeah, complete idiot. 500 pieces of shit. ISIS members were captured by U.S.-backed Syrian Democratic forces yesterday as the terrorists fled along with others after Baghouz, a village in western Syria near the border of Iraq, had been pummeled by U.S.-led coalition airstrikes over the past month and recent days. So over 6,000 people have fled the area over the past 48 hours, and it was ISIS's last stronghold in the country. Some of the last ISIS fighters that remain are amongst the most experienced and dedicated to the cause, and there are reports they are using their wives and children as human shields. So that's not really a shocker.
Just
Come on.
ISIS. Just another day in ISIS being complete pieces of shit.
So these 500 were just caught, just captured?
they were just captured. Yeah.
Nice. So this is, I think this is a little bit of that Trump subterfuge where he doesn't want to tell you his plans, and he's like, we beat ISIS like a month ago,
right.
but he knew they were going to strike. Try to lull them to sleep. Got the rest of ISIS. Maybe now they're
Make 'em
maybe now
relax
they're
a
not
little bit?
dead.
This
Yeah.
is a scenario where you're stoked if you have a fat wife.
Why?
Oh, because of the human shield.
Larger
Larger
shield.
shield.
Oh, Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Very
or a
good.
tall kid.
Yeah, tall kid.
Fat kid. So the taking of Baghouz will mark the terrorist organization's end to its hold in Syria and an end to its caliphate, which once held rule over 7.7 million people. And finally, comedian Matt Rife, who dated Kate Beckinsale for almost a year back in 2017, had some advice for his fellow comedian Pete Davidson, who is currently dating her, and that was to enjoy it while it lasts. So
Yeah, and the Pete Davidson wrote, "I am."
yeah, definitely am.
What did
Matt.
he mean by it?
I think he means her vagina and
Kate-
body.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
Her butthole, her
Yeah.
vagina, those nipples.
There's a lot of its on that body.
Face.
Enjoy it.
He also said that Pete should eventually run and that it would be a complicated ride. So I don't know how complicated it is. I sure wouldn't mind being on a ride with Kate Beckinsale, though, no matter how complicated it is.
What's with her and like normal-looking comedians? She's
Funny
Normal
guys.
looking.
she's just turned on.
It's the only shot we got, Mark.
What she just like she's like just scream a knock joke into my clit. what is with her? What
This guy Matt's a lot better looking than Pete Davidson.
is he?
Yeah.
I just assumed he was ugly.
No,
All
he's
right.
a lot
Okay.
better looking.
All right.
All right, and that's it for Hard Factor. Guys, Friday's show is not looking definite as of right now. We only have 27 reviews because 2 haters decided to leave 1-star reviews.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
So be sure to keep those reviews coming in. The deadline is 5 p.m. Thursday. We would love to do a Friday show for you guys, but it is up to you. As always, thank you for listening. We love you, and have a great fucking day.